meets Uber.
It's a dazzling array of all the latest car trends of the future. And if you're one of these 20,000 visitors, you just got a chance to see it first. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
About 125 exhibitors put on displays at this year's LA Auto Show. There were also games, contests, prizes, and interactive exhibits for the entire family. Well, it could be called heaven for those in the food industry, but it's proof of how small business owners can help grow their business to compete in the main market. Rasha Goel has more.
If you build it, they'll come. This building here was once an old warehouse, which is now turned into a dream field for those in the culinary industry. I'm standing in LA Kitchen, which is part of LA Prep, where there is more than just cooking that's happening. For entrepreneurs like Hima Pandya, LA Prep has provided a stepping stone for her dream business of making ghee, a clarified unsalted butter that is used for cooking. It has grown so much that she now has to relocate to another facility, but she is thankful to LA Prep for giving her an opportunity to thrive.
The sense of community that you have I've been able to help other small businesses grow a little bit, and they've been able to help me. There's always someone bigger and better in the building than you that can always, provide a sense of mentorship and support. I know how blessed I am to be in this building, and it's been a great experience here.
So what exactly is LA Prep?
What we do as a facility, as a company, is take the real estate and facilities problem off their table and really free them up to do what they do best, which is make food and sell it.
All these people who are used to working by themselves in the middle of the night, who all of a sudden are in a place where they have a lot of like-minded people who can share ideas, they can share contacts, they can share resources, and actually be a lot more successful just by virtue of being part of this community.
LA Prep opened in April of 2015 here on Avenue 26 in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood of Council District 1 and has 54 wholesale commercial kitchens and production space available for rent to local food makers.
Now they've got an opportunity to take that product, that special, unique product that comes from their heart, and their family history, we can move that product to market.
Among those success stories is celebrity chef and nutritionist Chef Lala, who provides home delivery food through her company, Chef Nourish.
I'm a creative type. I don't want to have to deal with all the business end of it. This is a turnkey place. They were super helpful when it came to the permits. Everything was already in place. They customized the kitchen to the way we needed it, with the equipment that we wanted. There's people here around the clock, so I can actually have receiving.
The biggest space has been allotted to LA Kitchen, an enterprise that is helping the community in all realms.
It's the first-of-a-kind social enterprise in America that takes food that would have been thrown away. And we're focusing a lot on fruits and vegetables that are cosmetically imperfect. But we use those to fuel a job training program so that younger men and women aging out of foster care or older men and women returning from prison can get the skills they need to get great jobs. But what's really important is what we're also trying to do is make sure those men and women prepare meals that go out to nonprofit partners throughout the city.
The 15-week training program teaches students to prepare healthy meals.
Our goal is that we want to get 100% of our graduates working, hopefully on graduation day. But the exciting thing about us is we have a business, too, so we'll become a major employer ourselves.
A business model that creates recipes for success for the entire community. In Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
For more information, you can visit laprep.la. Well, with the holiday season here, shoppers in Canoga Park are urged to take extra precautions to protect their gifts and other valuables. Gil Reyes has more from Westfield Topanga Plaza Mall. Gil.
Well, that is right, Yana. 'Tis the season for gift giving, but also the season for thieves. Last year, the LAPD Topanga Division reported more than 80 incidents of car thefts and burglaries just in this area, but there are things you can do to protect yourself.
And just that quick, he's gone like a ghost. The ghost of Christmas present, your presents, because you carelessly left them in your car and in plain sight.
I think people have to be very careful.
The LAPD's Topanga Division getting the word out with these demonstrations, showing how quickly thieves can work. This warning is issued to shoppers at the Village Westfield Topanga Plaza. Last year, between Black Friday and New Year's, police say 82 thefts and burglaries from vehicles took place at the mall's parking lot and surrounding areas.
It's an unfortunate reality of the holiday season. It's something that happens all year round, but particularly in the holiday season.
Canoga Park's Councilman Bob Blumenfield urging people to lock it, hide it, and keep it, a crime-fighting slogan that reminds shoppers to always lock their vehicles, even if they're gone a short time, park in well-lit areas, and hide gifts and other valuables in the trunk if they must remain in the car. Keeping them in plain view might entice thieves.
You will see a very large uniform presence here in all of our shopping areas. Our goal is to keep it safe.
Undercover officers will be patrolling too. Authorities are also urging people to be vigilant in reporting suspicious activity.
And just be more aware of your surroundings.
And those warnings come as the city experiences an overall spike in property crime. Yana?
Gil, thanks. Angelinos working and living in downtown LA now have a new hotspot for food and groceries. A long-awaited health store has made its way to the business hub. Rasha Goel has more.
Whole Foods Market is finally in downtown Los Angeles. The new store, featuring its own restaurant and bar, is a big improvement in terms of grocery operations in the downtown area.
We've been looking for a good 15 years. When this became available, it was a no-brainer. We feel really lucky to be on 8th and Grand, and it's a great location for us.
In an area where healthy alternatives were limited, customers now have an option.
We really feel that we want to reach out to the offices and the community here. We're going to give access to the best food available to downtown. We feel it's a great fit for us. It's a great fit for the community.
It's also a great fit for vendors like Roy Choi, creator of the gourmet Korean taco truck, Kogi.
Now Scoop and Serve have found a way to keep the quality, improve the ingredients, and then click in the process.
Or for the Bordersons, who supply dragon fruit to the store.
Whole Foods is very picky with its growers, so they look at everything and they review everything, so it's an honor to be able to be part of the Whole Foods family.
We're an organic market, and so, I think that the uniqueness comes in that we offer something for everybody.
And something else everyone can smile about is the available parking spaces. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
And they'll also be selling vinyl records. Well, the LAPD is now in an expansion phase, launching a new police academy training class almost every month. Anna Marcos takes us to the latest graduation and what makes this class so special.
These fresh recruits graduate the LAPD Academy at a difficult time for both police and the communities they patrol, a time when tensions often erupt into violence. But the rookies believe they can make a difference.
It's important for us not to get caught up in everything that's happening right now within the community. It's important for us to just remain true to our morals and our values and the way that we were brought up, and just remember why we started.
I was former military, Marine, and I wanted to make a difference on a large scale. Now I want to be a police officer because I still want to be able to make a difference, but at a local level.
And the new cops are well equipped to make that difference. Asia Hardy was voted class president for her leadership. Stephen Geiger has clinched the award for being top gun and the best evasive driver in the class. And Eric Anderson got the award for best self-defense maneuvers.
It's very time-consuming, late nights, early mornings, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
One thing the LAPD brass are proud of, this class is so diverse, it mirrors the ethnic makeup of LA. The ratio of women does fall a little bit behind. There's 4 women out of this class of 32.
The makeup of African Americans, Asians, Caucasians, Middle Easterns, Hispanics, it is a great makeup and it's well balanced.
They will have to deal with events that nobody should have to deal with. As the representatives of the people of Los Angeles, they will go into places that nobody should have to go.
Mayor Eric Garcetti asked the recruits to never forget the details.
And in every inspection I've done, there's usually at least one button unbuttoned or something that's off. This is the first inspection I haven't been able to find a single thing. Details can keep you alive in the field. Details can save your life.
Of course I'm very fearful, but I'm also proud of him, and so it's a combination of pride and fear, yes.
Today, it seems, the pride the families feel far outweighs the fear as they watch their recruits throw their hats up in the air, and with that, become full-fledged officers, ready for deployment on the streets of L.A. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The recruits receive 6 months of intense training. Well, after 65 years, Panorama City finally has a new home for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Rich Samuels has more.
It seems that everyone was celebrating the grand opening of Fire Station Number 7 in Panorama City. Members of the community came together along with city officials and Los Angeles City firefighters for a day-long festival.
We have this beautiful building, really a reflection of this amazing community that I call my district.
Serving the communities of Panorama City, Arleta, Pacoima, Mission Hills, and North Hills, the 16,000 square foot facility is more than 7 times larger than the 1950 station it replaces.
I think the credo of LAFD is notably apt today, and it is dedicated to saving lives, fighting fires, safety and prevention, and building communities.
Diane Hand used to live behind Fire Station 7, back when it was based in the old building nicknamed the Little House.
They're adorable. They've adopted me as their station mom, and I try to do everything to make them aware that their community loves them and thanks them for everything that they do. They deserve something nicer, bigger, more comfortable, and it's just, it's needed.
The $8.8 million station was made possible because of cost savings during the construction of fire and animal facilities under Proposition F, a bond passed in 2000. The new station now houses an engine and paramedic ambulance with room for 2 hook and ladder trucks. It's a new beginning for Fire Station 7. This is Rich Samuels for LA This Week.
This is the 6th station to be designated Fire Station 7 since the first one opened downtown in 1888. Well, a new annual tradition sails into the Port of LA. A new crosswalk in the heart of Hollywood boosts visitor safety, and parking just got a bit easier in Westwood. All these stories and more in City Beat. The Port of Los Angeles will begin hosting LA Fleet Week, in which active military ships will be on public display during next year's Labor Day holiday, city leaders announced. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti, who's a Navy Reserve officer, said the event will be a great annual tradition for Angelinos to visit the LA waterfront, tour ships, enjoy a variety of activities, and gain a deeper appreciation of our enlisted men and women. A new scramble crosswalk was recently installed at the heavily traveled intersection of Hollywood and Highland, allowing pedestrians to cross from all corners in every direction, including diagonally and simultaneously. Previously, the highly congested corner in the heart of Hollywood overflowed with pedestrians moving outside the crosswalks and sometimes in between cars trying to make turns. City Councilman Mitch O'Farrell, who spearheaded the transformation, said it will improve safety for the thousands of pedestrians who cross there each day.
It's a psychological boost. People feel safer. And you can feel it when I've crossed there. It feels a bit joyful, really.
O'Farrell also joined other local and federal officials for a ribbon cutting and a walk along Sunset Boulevard in Echo Park to mark the completion of a streetscape improvement project that repaired broken sidewalks and curbs, planted more than 100 new trees, and saw the installation of several solar-powered Big Belly trash receptacles. The pedestrian improvement project, which was mostly paid for by a federal grant, is geared toward enhancing the look and feel of the neighborhood while making the area more inviting for pedestrians.
We encourage people to spend some time here and have a quality experience.
Mayor Garcetti and other LA City officials launched Westwood Express Park, the first expansion of LA Department of Transportation's real-time parking management and information system outside of downtown LA. The system uses in-ground sensors to determine when and where parking spots are available and adjusts prices according to supply and demand. Mayor Eric Garcetti says one of the goals is to reduce traffic congestion.
These sensors, LADOT can now track also the usage of the city's metered on-street parking and use that information to help us set the best parking rates, save us money again when things are low, and to make sure we get the turnover we need when there's high demand.
It was a rare treat. A lineup of world-class musicians, singers, and dancers put on a show recently for a great cause, and it was free. Rich Samuels has more.
Drums and drummers are part of cultures the world over. and every year they're celebrated here at the 34th Annual Watts Towers Day of the Drum Festival.
And it's in Watts, a place that everybody forgets unless there's a shooting or something negative. But we've been doing museum and art education for 54 years.
The Watts Towers Arts Center, built in the shadow of the iconic Watts Towers, shares the landmark's worldwide reputation.
Simon Redier was a regular man. He built these towers all by himself for 33 years. So what it tells us is, if you stick to it, you can do it.
So every year I've just enjoyed coming to build community and listen to the great music.
The performance has been fantastic. This guy's been loving it. Actually, he's eager to get back to it. He's enjoying the music and enjoying dancing to the music.
Los Angeles native, and I cherish the multicultural traditions of Los Angeles.
The celebration didn't end with the drum festival. The free event continued the following day with the 39th Annual Simon Rodier Watts Towers Jazz Festival. From the Watts Towers, this is Rich Samuels for LA This Week.
Both festivals were presented by the Department of Cultural Affairs and the Friends of the Watts Towers Art Center. Well, with the gift-giving season here, LA Animal Services is encouraging people to adopt a pet. And at One Valley Shelter, choosing the right animal just got easier. Gil Reyes explains.
In the past, the big decision to adopt from a shelter could only be made from behind a glass or cage. But at East Valley Animal Shelter, you can make the choice in a living room setting. New yellow couches where you and your potential pet can really meet.
Some people want a cat that's all over you, that's on your lap, that's on your shoulder, that's rubbing on your face. Some people want a cat that keeps their distance. So this way you can actually go in, sit for a while, relax, and find out exactly who the cat is.
How did it all happen? Well, basically, the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council put it all together. They had extra money in their discretionary funds and used it to purchase $5,000 worth of furniture. And now people can take their time while they consider adopting a pet.
At the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the two newly renovated rooms, Area Councilman David Rue praised the residents of Sherman Oaks.
Government can't do everything on our own, and this is where we have collaborations and relationships with the local community, and the local community stepping up, getting involved in your government.
With the holiday gift-giving season here, East Valley Shelter in Van Nuys is offering specials. Cats 4 months or older are free. Dogs are half price on weekends only.
You know, everybody loves puppies. What's not to love? They're adorable. But think of adopting a dog that's a little older, 2, 3, 4 years old. They're already past the, eating the chew stage. They're trained. They're calmer. They make a great pet.
And if you don't believe us, meet a few of them in person and be sure to feel right at home. At East Valley Animal Shelter, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The city is also offering $30 vouchers for spaying or neutering. Pets of low-income residents can get the procedure done at no charge. While Marina Del Rey puts on a colorful display of holiday lights, and 2 different shopping extravaganzas showcase both handmade and vintage items. All this in this week's Things to Do. On Saturday, December 12th, feel as though you've escaped to a small-town fishing village with the 52nd anniversary of the Marina Del Rey Boat Parade. Bring a blanket and gather around Fisherman's Village or the Burton Chase Park to watch as the 70 boats glide through the marina with holiday lights and decorations in competition. Categories include Best Theme, Best Animation, Best Band, Best Lights, and more. The festivities begin at 5:55 p.m. with fireworks, and the boat parade starts at 6, rain or shine. The Fisherman's Village is located at 13737 Fiji Way. For more, visit mdrboatparade.org. Reserve the second weekend in December for the Echo Park Craft Fair, hosted by the 5,000-square-foot Mac Sennett Studios. The event welcomes artsy Eastsiders for a holiday feast of hand-dyed clothing and delicately concocted bath oils, one-of-a-kind ceramics, weavings, jewelry, and beyond. Founded by a shoe designer and a textile artist, the biannual extravaganza has grown from a backyard hangout to an artisan's haven, providing a number of local craftspeople a space to showcase their handmade gems. The fair takes place on December 12th and 13th at the Max Sennett Studios, located at 1215 Bates Avenue in Silver Lake. For more, visit echoparkcraftfair.com. From handmade goodies to vintage gems, in 4 short years, A Current Affair has established itself as the premier West Coast shopping event and is known for a curated, relevant selection of vintage from all eras. Currently held 3 times yearly in downtown LA in the penthouse of the Cooper Design Space, A Current Affair brings together more than 50 of the best vintage retailers and private dealers, showcasing the best in vintage clothing, accessories, and jewelry. Check it out on December 12th and 13th. The Cooper Building is located at 860 South Los Angeles Street. For more, visit itsacurrentaffair.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Graffiti removal? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall.
Don't worry, Patty. This isn't going to hurt me one bit. Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Shapiro in beautiful Encino, and you're watching LA City View, Channel 35. Our city, our channel. Open wide.
Good morning. Good morning. Today is Friday the 11th. Want to welcome everyone to your Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Public is welcome. Madam Clerk, we have a quorum. Could you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Herstassen, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson. 11 members present and a quorum.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Weezer moves, Martinez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Rue moves, Price seconds. Next.
Mr. President, there's a request to continue item 7 to Tuesday, December 15th. Further, the Department of Building and Safety recommends that items 1A be received and filed inasmuch as the lien was partially rescinded and the balance paid. Items 1E, F, and H be received and filed inasmuch as the liens have been paid in full. And items 1C, 1M, and 1N will be continued to January 12, 2016.
Okay, and that'll be the order. Let's move on.
Item 1 is an item noticed for public hearing.
Do we have cards?
Yes, there are cards.
Let's hold that item and move forward.
Items 2 through 6 are items for which public hearings have been held. Committee reports for items 3 and 4 have been submitted and circulated for council consideration.
All right, special, Ms. Martinez.
Item 3, special, Mr. President.
Item 3 for Ms. Martinez. Let's vote on remaining. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
And Mr. President?
Item 2 forthwith. Yes, Madam Clerk. And
I believe there are requests to send items 2 and 5.
There's a double request on 2. All right, so without objection, that's exactly what we will do. Let's continue.
Items 8 through 11 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so again, without objection, those items are now before this body. Do we have cards?
Yes, there are cards on all items, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Well, let's hold those items, and that brings us where?
That takes council back to presentations, items called special or general public comment.
Let's start out with item 8. Mr. Walsh, if you're here, we're on item 8. Please come forward.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. This is REAP again, Rent Escrow Account Program. People, remember what this means. If you have any code violations in your apartment, you report them to the city. The landlord is cited. He's given a certain number of days to repair. If he doesn't repair it in that time, then you no longer pay your rent to your landlord, you pay it to the city. Now, these are landlords who got caught, but now have repaired the code violations, and now they're going to start getting their rent. Again, when you do an excellent job, which you have done under REAP, you are all praised, lauded, for the great job you do on REAP. HollywoodHighlands.org.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
We'll move to item 9. Mr. Walsh, we're on item 9. And Mr. Previn, we're on item 9. Okay, Mr. Previn.
Thank you, sir, and good morning. It's Eric Previn from CD2. This item has to do with CD11, the great CD11, Mr. Bonan's district. And here what we're doing is we're going to be establishing some new names for some private driveways, actually. The names, which I thought were actually quite nice, we're going to be the private driveways at Village Drive and Bluff Creek Drive as Aurora Place, Shell Place, Suncatcher Place, Sea Spray Place, my favorite, Sea Beach Place, and of course Moonrise Place, and naturally Meadowlark Place, which is great. And I think that the message here is that we can together make these neighborhoods thematically appropriate and thus work to make the value, I think rise is the term we're looking for. Like the tide, if I may keep with the seascape naming here. So I'm very supportive of this, and I would just hope that the individuals who live in the neighborhood appreciate what Mr. Bonan has done for them, because this is not something that does happen regularly. This is something that does require not a lot of money, obviously, but a little bit of work, and I just think that he should be properly thanked for that, and anyone else who helped. So thank you.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on that item now. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's now go to item 10. I have Mr. Walsh. Mr. Walsh passes, and Mr. Previn on item 10.
Greetings, it's Eric Previn from CD2, and item 10 is the great Harris Dawson and Mr. Wesson himself are going to be approving a lease for office space for the neighborhood council, to be specific, the Park Mesa Heights Community Council. So that's great, and they're going to be approving a lease. I couldn't see the terms of the lease. I looked at the terms of the lease of my neighborhood, which are extremely good terms for the neighborhood council in Studio City. Everybody must have their own terms, but obviously, if we're going to have neighborhood empowerment, we're going to have a place to do it. So this is great. So thank you. That's only 1 minute, sir, or actually 30 seconds.
All right, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Ms. Martinez?
Can I go to item 3?
What would you like? You want to go to item 3? Is that what?
If I could. I just need to make a point of clarification on item 3 before we vote.
Okay, let's go.
So, members, before us today is an administrative task. On November 23rd, we approved a 6-month extension for FilmLA contract while contract negotiations continued. At this time, a proposed contract that had not been finalized was transmitted. So in order for this proposed contract to not automatically be enacted because we took no action on it, we're acting today to disapprove it. The actual contract that we will act on should be coming to us in a couple of months or at the beginning of the year. So I ask for an aye vote to affirm our committee's recommendations to disapprove this contract before us and allow the parties to continue meeting on a new contract that will come before this body at the beginning of 2016. So I ask for an aye vote.
Okay, let's on that item open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Now we'll go to 11. Mr. Walsh and Mr. Previn on item 11.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. These final maps are very important, and you should watch these maps, because what this does is embed the zoning, which means that someday you may wake up, especially if you live south of Wilshire, in the African American neighborhood and find out that your property and your home has been changed from no high rises to high rises. They cannot start the high rise process until they change the zoning. So you see what here, Santa Monica, northeast of Warno Drive, Serrano, 11th Street. Generally, they're not in Jewish neighborhoods. They're almost always, which is what I am, they're almost always in minority neighborhoods. Final map, parcel number 2, Rhodes Avenue. Some of these maps are very large. This is the way they destroy the value of your property, through these final maps. And you have 15 enemies in this room because there isn't one of these city councilmen who ever, I challenge you, ever on a final map parcel to find one city councilman who objected. And the reason we have all these high rises is because the zoning was changed. And it's almost always changed on the other side of La Brea, and it's almost always minorities. Yes, I am a race traitor, and I'm a traitor to my color, and I tell you what the white people say when the black people leave the room.
Yeah. Mr. Previn?
Greetings, it's Eric Previn, a resident from CD2, and this item includes an item in CD2, which is 15-1426 would be the case file number, and it's over at Rhodes Avenue where Oxnard is. And I know this area; it's in my district. This is an area where they have been putting up some boxy buildings. This one, you can tell by the Quimby fee, which is only $5,000, is not going to be that big, because we do see Quimby fees that are much larger. We see $100,000. So that's a measure of comfort. What is not a measure of comfort when you look at our final track map in CD2 is the sheer gross poundage of development projects that have exceeded, through various density bonuses and such, the ordinary requirements. We have, in fact, air rights in our district being looked at closely by the Harvard Westlake Group to try to seize and put a private bridge. We're looking at the Sportsman's Landing at your Plum Committee, sir. On December 15th at 2:30, we're going to be having a meeting about the appeal on Sportsman's Landing. Now, CD2 is not here today because I assume he's preparing for that. We are facing a bit of an onslaught, sir, in Studio City, and we do have problems with our parking. And the transportation studies
subject,
have
Mr.
been well. The transportation study is done on the track map.
Get on subject, Mr. Previn, please.
Okay. Well, then, if you would like me to conclude my remarks, sir, obviously I'm happy to comply.
Okay,
and I wanted to say as I go,
conclude your remarks.
You
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's prepare to vote. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's go into the, Madam Clerk, I think we want to handle the special. So can we recess and go into the special?
Yes. Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Herstassen, Weiser, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson. 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay. So it's my understanding we're going to continue item 12, and that's for how long?
To January 12, 2016.
Okay, and let's deal with 13. Without objection, Mr. Walsh.
And Mr. President, items 13, 14, 15, and 16
Yes.
have not had public hearings, and 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before us. Mr. Walsh passes on item 13. So on this item, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, now we'll move on to 14. Again, Mr. Walsh, item 14 is yours as well.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, or Jay Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. This is a very complex issue. It can be reduced to something quite simple. This is replacement of the wastewater system debt program credit facilities. What this means is ultimately, if you give enough money to your councilman for perfectly legal as it is to his office holder account or anything, when you want to pollute, always worry about this word replacement and extension. That means something that shouldn't be done is going to be done. And it's only going to be done for the polluter's benefit. That's what it is here. We have the most polluted city in the world. The whole world knows about Southern California gas. The whole world. It's all over the world. We're breathing that gas, that methane right now. Thank you. Thank you, City Councilman, for polluting and poisoning our environment and doing it legally, because only people like us stand up. This should be voted down because it's just like the SoCal poisoning. This poisons us, it poisons children, and I guess you don't give a shit that it poisons your own children. You poison your own children, you scumbags.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, why don't we go to item 15? Mr. Walsh and Mr. Previn on item 15.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. Okay, we should change the name of this city to Universal City, the Greater Universal City. This is a deal. Again, when you see the word amendment, that means they're selling you out to the developer. The developer here is Universal Studios. This is an amendment to the development agreement. Now, I must say to the black people and the Hispanic people, this doesn't concern you. This is about poisoning white people. Because remember, they're equal opportunity. They'll poison and kill white Jews as much as
Mr. Walsh, come on.
This is
you're
a
going off on a
development
tangent
deal.
again.
Initiate amendment to the development deal between Universal Studios, $50,000 payable to the Outpost Homeowners Association. They're selling your ass. These white people are selling your ass. $200,000 payable to the Cahuenga Pass property owners. This is a bribe. And if you have children, you live anywhere near Universal City, these two homeowner groups may be poisoning your children. You shithole scumbags, poisoners.
All right, Mr. Walsh. Let us prepare. Now you're disrupting. Just go sit down and be quiet till I call your name again. Let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll. Oh, Mr. Previn, I apologize. Come on.
Sir, today is December 11th, Wishful Thinking Day, so I appreciate that. Today, this item is it's obviously time for thank you once again to the great Universal Studios, who do have a fair amount of influence down here, I would say. They obviously are our partners in a lot of jobs, and now we're going to be facing a lot more theme park jobs. So high numbers of theme park jobs, everybody knows that spells, well, it's something, sir. It is additional revenue for the city, so that's fair. This here, though, is for the neighborhoods, and what we've got is some great giving. We have, I think it's 137 total delivered to the Outpost Community Group, 37 to Council District 4 little account. By the way, we did this in CD2, and I scrutinized the numbers very carefully. There is absolutely nothing wrong with ingratiating yourself with the district office as you put up, for example, a odious exit at Barham or anything like that. Universal is a trusted partner, so I want you to realize that. It's not like these are guys who are coming in from nowhere. They do actually have a good team down here One of them is on the Ethics Commission, a woman named Ms. Dahan, who had worked with Weezar earlier, obviously, but she does a very good job as one of the commissioners. She's seated and was a student of Jessica Levinson, who is actually the president of the Ethics Commission now. So we have no concerns about arm's length dealing, obviously, because this is NBC Universal, sir. We do not need to go further on that. And so this one is going to be good. Hopefully, one thing you have to watch for is sometimes in the more affluent neighborhoods, they say, let's actually, rather than give the money to the district, let's just give it to the group, the homeowners. And people are wondering, well, how is that going to benefit actually the people in the district? And the answer is because they can hire private security to keep their neighborhood safe. So that is reasonable if you want private safety for the public, which obviously Mr. Englander would sign up for. I think most of us would like to know that everybody is going to be safe. So thank you, sir, for this great one. Thanks.
Let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's move on to item 16. And, I'm sorry, Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we reconsider and continue item 1E from Wednesday, December 9th meeting. The council file is 15-0160-S633.
So what we'll do is when I get out of the special meeting,
Okay.
we'll go back.
Thank you.
All right, so now we'll go to item 16. Mr. Walsh, item 16. Mr. Walsh passes. Let us prepare to vote. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's send 13 and 16 forthwith. And I'm sorry I cut you off, Madam Clerk.
Just confirming that items 13 and 16 are forthwith.
Okay. I believe we can adjourn the special and return to the regular. Okay, so now let's deal with Mr. O'Farrell's request. Let's try it one more time,
Thank
Mr.
you,
O'Farrell.
yes. So I move that we reconsider and continue item 1E from the Wednesday, the 9th meeting. And that is Council File 15-0160-S633.
Okay, so let's, 2 votes. So let's, the first one, Madam Clerk, is just to reconsider. So let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Second vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Now we'll go to item 1. Okay, I believe I have a Mr. Jerome. Is it Malone? Please come forward, sir. And John from College Vista Avenue or something. John, I can't pronounce the last name. And Daphne Ragsdale. So please come forward and identify yourself. Come on.
And as the speaker comes forward, Mr. President, there's a request to continue 1D until January 12th, 2016.
Okay. So, Mr. Malone, I don't know if you heard, they have decided to continue your item. And could you repeat that date, Madam?
The date is Tuesday, January 12th, 2016.
So that will give you about a month to make, to have conversations with the department and try to work something out. You fine with that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So if I could have the next speaker, please come forward and identify yourself.
My name is John Urquiza.
Gotcha. Come on.
And I'd like to request some relief on this. I can't afford to pay the fine. I'm also in the process of converting it, but I do have some objections to it because this property, I've owned it for 20 years. It was under RSO, and the apartment, or that apartment that they wanted as a garage, was under that jurisdiction for years. It was built in 1939, and it's been a rental unit since then. And as well, I own and live there.
Okay, well, why don't we, I've just been informed that we will continue that item. The request is for 2 weeks. We won't be in session then, so this will be continued until what date? Would it be the 12th of January?
Correct.
Okay, so John, you have to the 12th of January. You may want to engage in some conversations with the council office.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next. Please come forward. Identify yourself.
Daphne Ragsdale.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm coming here because there was a lien against my mother's property, Maddie Lucille Yule Goins.
What's the address?
7321 South Figueroa Street, Los Angeles 90003.
This, if you look to your right, you'll see somebody waving their hand. He represents the council office. Why don't you engage with the conversation with him, and then they'll give me a signal as to how they want to proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming down. Is it Gladys Mendoza? Please come forward, followed by Russ Shepard or Shepard.
Good morning. My name is Gladys Mendoza, and I received this bill of $3,000, $3,074.25, and this is the first time I see this bill. I never received prior bill, and I did comply with this order, and I cannot afford to pay this at this moment.
You know, you want to continue that to the
Thank you.
12th? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'd like to ask for a continuance so I can arrange payment.
And you're at what address again, Mr.?
514 West 146th Street.
Mr. Buscaino? Continue it.
Let's talk to him on the side if we can.
Okay, we'll be voting soon.
Thank you. Charles,
if
can
you
come
go...
up, please? See where we're at on this? Thank you.
Mr. Walsh?
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. Once again, I must commend you for what you did. These building and safety nuisance abatement costs, if anybody comes up here, as the gentleman did before, and protests it, you say, wait for 2 weeks and talk to the deputy. That's good, because it will either be erased or it will be cut in half. Because these nuisance abatement things are much too high. They're only against, as you see, small property owners. You're not going to see Universal City getting a nuisance abatement. So, again, East Avenue 39, South Figueroa Street, and also almost usually minorities, very seldom my group, Jews. And so I think you do a good job here, and that's what I'm asking you right now. I'm asking everybody out here, if you ever get one of these nuisance abatements, don't be a fool and don't come down here. If you come down here, you notice this gentleman that came up here. I have never seen in all the years someone come up and say, I was here 2 weeks ago and you... No. They never come back because they're satisfied, because the fine has either been forgiven or it's been cut in half or 1/10. So Again, when you do a good job, I'm the first to congratulate you.
Okay, let's deal with some of these continuances. So, Mr. Harris Dawson, I believe with you it was Miss Ragsdale and Miss Mendoza. So we want to continue those.
For 2 weeks.
Well, we'll continue them to January 12th. So that would be what items in particular, Madam Clerk? I think one is...
I believe that is 1J, 1K, and 1L are all being continued to January 12th.
Okay, and we also have Mr. Shepherd. 1J. Okay.
1J it is.
Okay, so without objection...
1J, thank you.
Those items will be continued until our first meeting in the new year. And let's vote on the remaining.
Excuse me, Mr. President, one more request to continue 1O for until January 12th, 2016.
Without objection. So let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, let's do general public comment. Is this a Walter Duncan? John Walsh? Eric Previn? Mr. Duncan, you please come up for you were first one called. Christopher Carter? Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning to everybody.
Good morning to you.
I want to bring up this issue about ISIS, and I'm here to let you know San Bernardino has tried to keep me locked down or kidnapped twice. This has happened. Okay, they held me down there for maybe 2.5 days. They stopped the buses, they stopped the cabs, and they stopped the trains. So I've been in contact with my brothers with ISIS, so there's not going to be any more attacks. Because this is what they're thinking. America has been trying to keep me hostage here. So we need to get that message out, and we need to get it out loud and clear, and let these world, everything I'm saying, it's got to be a global issue.
Thank you, sir.
No, I'm not done.
No, you are. You are. We only do a minute for everybody. So now, Mr. Walsh, and I'm sorry about that, Mr. Duncan, but we want to be fair to everybody. Okay, Mr. Walsh. Mr. Duncan, your time has expired. Mr. Walsh, come forward.
John Walsh at HollywoodHighlands.org. This past Sunday, a Hollywood 24-year-old gay Hollywood tour guide who was going home from work was murdered on Hollywood Boulevard. Ostensibly, it was a hit and run. The story only appeared in KTLA.
Wait a minute, John. Hold his point. Hey, sergeants, remove him. I'm not going to sit up here and let this guy point at me and threaten. You go outside. No, and you're disrupting the meeting. You're disrupting the meeting. Sergeants, please show him the door. Please show him the door. No. Just go on. Go. You are being removed. You're being removed from this office. He's disrupting the meeting. You want to join him?
Yeah.
Just please help this poor soul. Just relax, Mr. Walsh. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Show him the door.
See you next week.
Show him the door. Okay, Mr. Walsh.
Give me my 60 seconds because
You know
weren't
what?
paying
I'm going to
attention.
give you your 60 seconds
Give
because
me
you
my
were
60
interrupted.
seconds. Okay.
No, they're going to do it. Go ahead.
John Ryan, 24 years old, was a Hollywood tour guide who was murdered on Hollywood Boulevard on Sunday. KTLA did a very good story. I've sent that out. All the media, homophobic media, won't carry this because he was a well-known gay man. Mr. O'Farrell knows what I'm talking about because you spoke to his mother and you have done nothing. You are a self-hating gay man. He was killed. There's a memorial on the street. The surveillance cameras show he was murdered. And the reason they're not saying anything, and the LA Times won't do the story because of the vile, homophobic Indian Davan Maharaj who hates gay people. And I'm telling you now, you are all, we want $250,000 reward. Because if you are gay, you come in Hollywood Boulevard.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Turn his time. Thank you. Go on, Mr. Walsh. You don't have to be so nasty. Mr. Previn, Mr. Englander.
I just want to, in light of what's going on in this world, say that was a little threatening, and I want the record to be noted that was crossing the line of a threat. So I'd like to note that.
Okay, let's please note that. And that's we're related to some of Mr. Duncan's remarks. Mr. Previn?
Yes, it's Eric Previn, a resident from CD2, sir. I'm a little confused about what just happened there, but thank you for your attention. Today is obviously a very busy day in the lean department. We had a whole number of characters buzzing around. I would encourage those people to make their point, because then I think there is an automatic reduction if you stand up and speak on behalf of yourself. In our district, sir, CD2, we have a lot of activity happening as we speak, and it's important that the council be apprised of those details in its entirety, because sometimes we get the feeling that what happens in CD2 stays in CD2. And I know you were visiting recently, so thank you for that visit. I missed it. I wish I was trying to get there, but I wasn't able to. In any event, when these kinds of land use issues do come before your little committee, it would be great if you could invite them, as you do regularly, to be heard here by the whole council, just so that all the little pesky details can be vetted properly in front of this group, who have incredible latitude. And look, today on December 11th, fantastic, sir. Today you look as good as I've seen you, and that is because I know that you are digging deep and ready to open up the camera to let the public be seen too for 2015.
Thank you, Mr. Previn. So do we have Christopher Carter? Please come forward, Mr. Carter, followed by Mr. Marine. Henry, I see in the back.
Morning,
yes.
Mr. President, council members. I'm going to read from Jeremiah 33:3. Thus saith the Lord, the maker thereof, the Lord that formed it to establish it. The Lord is his name. Call unto me, I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which you knoweth not. I have found myself in the moments of calling on him, and he has showed me. Upon showing me, he delivered me from a stutter I carried for 36 years. I couldn't even say the word stutter, stepladder, nor water can. Now these words roll off my tongue like water. He's asked me to come here and get with this council member and get with the mayor. I've requested meetings with the mayor to sit down and speak with him. I feel led by God to get these people up off the streets. If you guys will work with me and not against me, have a good day.
Thank you. Mr. Marine?
Yes, Mr. Wilson. MOU defined deductions account for ever since city, county, and Hackler officials authorized Gary Cook as business manager, trustee Gary Cook, and his predecessors to hold for the benefit of city, county, and Hackler plumbers longer than the law allows. Consequently, the city council, our public officials in L.A. County, is going to have to make back payments to Laces, Lacera, and CalPERS and recover the money they placed in union banks longer than the law allows. That means the interest from the money held public officials and union officials shall be used to provide back payments to Laces, Lacera, and CalPERS. And my councilman says he's willing to make those back payments, but he can't find nobody to back up his motion. So what's wrong with this problem here? Motion second to carry the money.
Thank you, Mr. Marine. If I could have Mr. Hunt, followed by Mr. Spindler. Yes, sir.
It's the Red Chief Hunt on the record, folks. Let me tell you this. I'm requesting that the city and all the city officials, city council, and all the commissioners be trained by the ACLU in the Brown Act. I think that's going to be important for the next year because you guys will probably be receiving a lot of paperwork and litigation regarding the Brown Act and the commissioners and the act of city council. But not only am I just going to send you a lot of paperwork, I'm going to go after those perpetrators who actually violated people's rights. So if you're one of them, yes, I'm going after your house. Yes, I'm going after the city of Los Angeles. And yes, I don't ever give up. I've been down here for 10 years, and you guys paid over $10 million since I've been down here. I am the Red Chief Hunt.
Okay, Mr. Spindler.
That's right. We have many, many people here from Asia. Our first Asian American councilman in 22 years, David. Woo! Let's give a hand, man. He did it. He crossed the divide. He made it. They redistrict the city. So no Asian could serve on the council, but the people won. And now the people are going to win again because Steve Soboroff threatened my life on Tuesday in the lobby of the Police Commission headquarters building. He called me the worst piece of shit he's ever seen to my face. The assistant vice president of the police commission threatening me for speaking at a public meeting, and you don't do nothing about it. You don't have a press conference, not an apology or a phone call, nothing. Why? Because he gave $875,000 of campaign money to buy you your seats on the council. That's more important than my civil rights being threatened.
Thank you. Mr. Akala, you turned your card in too late, but I'm going to let you,
thank you
speak anyway.
Thank you, sir. From this day on, I'm not going to call any one of you assholes or anything like that anymore. Mr. Koretz, I will not call you a pig anymore. Mr. Krikorian, I will not call you a goat anymore, even though you still are. But I want to tell you that the homeless demonstrators are across the street, and you're causing homelessness with your policies. The one that I really want to stick a hot dog in his mouth is Donald Trump, but he's going to be your president. You know, he's going to destroy the world, and we're going to start over. So, what the hell? Let's celebrate New Year's, right? With a lot of champagne in City Hall. Okay, guys, I'm going to be nice to you from now on. You be nice to me, and listen to what I'm saying, okay? Seriously, we got to end homelessness. Bye.
Thank you. That concludes general public comment. I'd like to defer to Mr. Rue at this time.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today we are happy to have a delegation from Gyeongnam Province, South Korea, with delegation leader Mr. Chun Hwan-soo, who is leading a 21 government official delegation who have received...
Stand up, Holly.
쓰세요. Yeah. Who have received recognition as outstanding officials in their job. The city of Los Angeles welcomes you. 반갑습니다.
All right, welcome. Okay, Madam Clerk, that brings us where?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted. They are referred.
That clears the desk.
Announcements, members. Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, tomorrow is the Echo Park Community Parade.
a neighborhood tradition going back decades, and the theme is echoing the holiday spirit. The parade is free, and it is tomorrow, as I mentioned, from 11 to 2. The parade route is along Sunset Boulevard in Echo Park, from Elysian Park Avenue heading west to Park Avenue. There will be street closures in the surrounding area from 9 a.m. as the parade ends to 2 o'clock. So we sure hope to see everyone coming and enjoying. The weather should be pretty good, and it's going to be a lot of fun, lots of local talent performing, and it's a lot of fun to help set the tone for the holiday season, and we hope to see you there.
Okay. Any other? Mr. Harris Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. President. On tomorrow morning, Saturday at 10 a.m. at Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, Council District 8 will be having our holiday celebration and toy giveaway. There will be free hot chocolate from 7-Eleven and free churros from Mexicano Restaurant. So we're very excited. There'll be a snow slide as well as gifts for children. And we heard that Santa might even show up. So look out for us tomorrow morning.
This is from what to what?
This is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Sounds like fun. Mr. Wizar.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Harris Dawson. I think Santa is scheduled to be at 3 o'clock at El Sereno on Huntington Drive in Van Horn, so I think he could go there first and then come over to El Sereno. We have our annual Winter Jubilee there. We invite all the community members from El Sereno to come out tomorrow, and on Sunday, we invite our friends from Highland Park to come out to the second annual tree lighting on the corner of Figueroa and York. When? Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Koretz, you have an announcement?
No, adjournment.
Any other announcements? Mr. Bonin.
Yes, two, Mr. President. Tomorrow, for pretty much the bulk of the day, our friends at LAPD Pacific Area Police Station will be doing a toy giveaway to children in the area. They put on a huge Christmas display, and they usually give toys away to about 3,000 kids every year. And then Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. is the holiday boat parade in the Venice Canals, where there's a bunch of boats all decorated up in Christmas decorations. It's an incredibly good time. Parking is horrible, so I strongly urge you to take an Uber or a Lyft to get there.
Okay, Mr. Buscaino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a shout out. Yesterday in Watts on the 103rd, we had an amazing Watts Winter Wonderland with Santa, Christmas tree lighting, snow, 4 sled rides down 103rd Street. It was amazing. So I want to give a shout out to, of course, LAPD, LA Fire Department in partnership with Grid and Farmer John's put out all the goods. Just an amazing, over 2,000 people. Watts came together on 103rd. Channel 35, thank you so much for covering it. It was just a sense of pride for us in Watts to have so many people come together, one love, one community, and that's what we've been celebrating in Watts. And I want to thank, including the Watts residents, for coming out and supporting our second annual Watts Winter Wonderland. It was amazing.
Okay, Mr. Weezer with a.
You know, Mr. Biscayne, you left out that you have some great moves. I saw a video of you dancing out there with some kids.
Right. Did the nene.
And, you know, usually the kids dance a lot better than us old folks, but you're giving them a good run for their money there.
All right, Eddie. Mr. Spindler, you're just a disruption, period. Okay, so do we have any more announcements? Then if all could please rise. And I hope the jackets fit, members. If not, let me know. I'll try to make adjustments. But with that said, we are in adjourning motion mode. I will look to Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm sad to adjourn and recognize a friend and a community leader who some of you may know, Brad Burlingame. He was president and CEO of Visit West Hollywood since 1997, which I helped create in the mid-'80s as then the marketing corporation. Under his leadership, West Hollywood expanded into a major travel destination for people as far away as Australia, Brazil, and England. He was instrumental in promoting West Hollywood as the creative city and is the young and vibrant center of the west side of Los Angeles. In addition, he helped leverage the city's annual Halloween celebration into a festival now attended by 500,000 guests every year, led the establishment of a film marketing program for the city, and spearheaded development of the Sunset Strip Music Festival. He achieved all of this while dealing with the terrible personal tragedy of his brother being killed on 9/11 while piloting Flight 77 that was hijacked and crashed into the Pentagon. You may know him because he was a frequent speaker at 9/11 commemorative events. Prior to becoming CEO of Visit West Hollywood, he was the Vice President of Marketing and Sales for the Japanese Assistance Network, which is a firm specializing in travel to Japan. He held many advisory positions and honorary positions with numerous associations, boards, and committees throughout the community. His legacy will carry on for many years, and he is survived by his wife and 2 daughters, Marta and Laura. And please join me in keeping Brad and his family in your thoughts throughout the holiday season.
Okay, Mr. Koretz, I'd like to be a signer on that with you. Brad helped us promote the Be a Patriot license plates that you see throughout the state of California. It's the flag and the logo or that we will never forget. And he, gosh, I didn't know that he was ill, and he would do events with me. And so if you would allow me to sign on that and give my best to the family. Wow. Any other adjourning motions? I do not see any. This meeting is adjourned.